just kind of yelled at someone for her sister. Do you know her? I don't know her last name.
Schofield. Her sister's name's Bronte.
And they're from
Are you
her?
fucking kidding me?
The producers for Mavs are shady. The fact that they brought Bronte's ex-husband's ex-girlfriend doesn't make sense, and her freak out was warranted, and the way they were very dismissive towards her as though it was nothing didn't make sense. And for Kira, karma is coming home to roost. The way she treated Ollie, and she said Ollie would have time to reflect on his flight back home. Now look at what's happening to her. The man she saved is not even paying her any attention. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. This episode I'll be reviewing Love Island Australia, Season 5, Episode 6. It's interesting that as soon as Ollie leaves, you have Kira and Reed sit down for a chat and sort of say they're happy that they're in a couple. And it's like, Kira, how blind are you? How blind are you that you've been in the villa with this guy, he hasn't shown you any interest. Suddenly you are in a place of power and he decides to show you interest. Make that make sense? Make that make sense? It doesn't make sense to all of us because we can see right through him. And for her to say, I trust you more. How do you trust someone who's ignored you all along and suddenly has run back to you when you realize that he's vulnerable? Unless this was their plan all along, unless they had an understanding when they came into the villa, then it is what it is. The girls, you have Nakia, Tia and Tyra sort of having a conversation about the Reed situation, because everyone can see through the BS and they don't understand how Kira, is she that desperate that she would rather the devil she knows than an angel she doesn't. And it's like, you've been sharing a bed with Ollie for the past how many days and he's been very good to you and loyal to you, so why would you want to dump him for someone who you said you didn't want to get to know because they slept with your sister? Make it make sense. If he betrayed you enough to sleep with your sister, what makes you think he won't betray you in the villa when a bombshell that's his type walks in? I don't know. But then I have the impression, here's my opinion. I think the producers, because they're bringing in Harrison's ex, they're going to want to keep Bronte's sister in the villa so that there is this sort of triangle, because whatever drama they were expecting between Kira and Reed didn't take place. Now they're bringing in Harrison's ex to try and create tension, because if Harrison's ex can, hook up with Reed, the better, because it's going to make Bronte's sister look like a jackass. That's my impression, and that's the sort of idea I'm getting from the way the producers have treated it. Anyway, in another corner of the villa, you have the two Dumb and Dumber with their ladies, because they're now in couples with people that they feel are ideal for them. So they are sort of having a conversation and they're happy that they're suddenly, Sav is now with Trent and Zach is now with Lucinda. The fact that they went to his bed and they took pictures with their cushions with their names, to me gives stalkerish vibes, and I don't know why the producers are allowing this. The fact that he was saying, I used to watch you on Love Island and now here I am with you in my bed. And it's like, that is giving creepish vibes. Why is no one saying anything about it? Maybe it's just me. Maybe when it comes to Zach, I don't trust him. I get the ick from him. The fact that when the guys are getting ready for bed in the bedroom and they're actually confronting Reed to say, so are you planning on continuing this connection of yours with Kira, or was it just a one-off for you to stay in the villa? And he couldn't even hide it, because he knows they can't see through the BS, and they were laughing at him and telling him, at least try and hide it, try and appear genuine, because at the moment you aren't. And it's like, oh my God, how did she not see what everybody else can clearly see, that he's not interested, he's just using her to stay in the villa? Make it make sense. I still don't get that. I still am so confused. And the girls are just excited to be getting in bed. For me, I get the creepy vibes from Zach. I think he's doing this more because he's had a crush on Lucinda since he saw her in the villa, and he's actually really doesn't have a connection with her. I might be wrong, but that's the impression that I'm getting. And so we'll see how that plays out as, the stays continue or they stay in their coupling. And so everyone goes to sleep, and in the morning you have Reed making coffees for people. Reed is trying to suck up to people. I think he's hoping to either turn one of the girls' heads that are currently in the villa, or he's hoping that a bombshell will come in. He's really not into Kira, not at all. And it's a pity that everybody else around her can see that apart from her. So I don't know how she's going to, feel when she sees herself on TV, because it's like the producers are trying to humiliate her and humble her given how she behaved on Married at First Sight. I'm here for Tia and Nate. It's them going for a conversation first thing in the morning just to sort of see where they are and discuss their connection and their coupling and how they think they're functioning. It was sweet. It was sweet. It was very like boyfriend, girlfriend type of vibes, the way they were sort of very calm and very relaxed. I think it's because Nate seems like he doesn't like drama, so he seems like he's drama free, and this is sweet for Tia, given all she's been through with Trent. And so I really have high hopes, and I think they were more or less saying to one another, yes, we're in our couple, and he was telling her that I don't play games. It's either I'm with you or I'm not. So don't think you're going to hear some girl come back to you and say, oh, I'm seeing somebody else or I'm trying to explore a connection. If I am, I will let you know first before I do anything else. And she sort of reiterated the same feeling. So I have high hopes for them, and I'm so excited that they finally decided, to put in the work and see if they can grow their connection. And then you have Kira and Reed. Reed is doing anything and everything to stay in the villa. The fact that as soon as everyone woke up, before people even opened their eyes, he had jumped out of bed to run and make coffees. And now he's pulling Kira aside to say, oh, I want you to know that I'm interested in getting to know you romantically. He's just saying that because he knows everybody in the villa knows he's playing games. Everybody outside of Kira. So the idea that he woke up in the morning before, made coffees for everybody else, and then decided to come to and say, oh, I want to continue to see you, to explore a romantic connection. Why didn't he discuss that in bed? If that's how he felt, why didn't he say anything while they were in bed? Why wait until he's got out of bed, he's made coffee, he's relaxed, and then he comes back and he says, oh, by the way, it was an afterthought. It was, let me get in a word before everybody else wakes up and pulls her aside for a chat and starts telling her the truth of what happened with guys in the bedrooms. I'm going to need someone to tell me what Lucinda actually sees in Zach, because he receives a text message to say, he has to go on a date with a bombshell, and also Reed receives the same text message, and off he runs to change, and it's like, I thought you really were into Lucinda and you're not interested in anybody else. At least talk to her. She had to follow him in to sort of give him a kiss and ask him, and it's like, why are you coming across as so desperate? Why you did this to yourself? And so I don't know, it's sad, but hey, it is what it is. You have Kira sort of upset at the idea that Reed is going on a date, and it's like, you were told this guy is not into you. You refused to take the warning. You decided to play naive and sort of go along just to get along with Reed, thinking that you could change him. He's not interested in you. He hasn't been interested in you. He's shown you who he is. You've refused to accept him for who he is. And so it is what it is. And so she was saying, oh, I've barely been in an coupling with him for less than a day, and he's already going on a date with the bombshell. And it's like, what do you expect, Sherlock Holmes? What do you expect? Do you think he's going to sit around and wait for you? He doesn't like you romantically. He's already told you he doesn't like you romantically. So what don't you understand? Why are you so confused? You should have kept Ollie around, because at least Ollie, most of the girls didn't like him. You didn't like him, so there was a strong possibility that he would never have found a bombshell that he liked, and the two of you could have ridden this to the sunset and just pretended to fall in love and got the prize money, but you refused. And Reed doesn't know how to play coy, because he's actually asked, by Zach, oh, this is what you've been waiting for, finally you get to go on a date with the bombshell. And he says, yes, I am. And I'm going to take it with both hands. And it's like, seriously, at least pretend that you're heartbroken, that you're going. At least pretend that you're interested in Kira. Don't be that obvious. And Reed is saying, oh, well, she has to be something in order for me to turn my head, because, he's so pompous. The way he makes it seem as though women are falling at his feet when they're not is shocking. It's really shocking. It's sad to see how desperate Lucinda is. The fact that she's stressing about Zach, who treats her like crap, and she dumped a guy who really treated her very well, doesn't make sense to me, because she's at the villa, she's having this conversation with Kira about, oh, are you not worried about Reed going on a date? Kira knows they're in a friendship couple. She doesn't care what Reed gets up to. As long as he keeps her in the villa and she keeps him in the villa, that's the most important thing to her. And with this triangle that the producers have brought in, I have a feeling she's not going anywhere. Anyway, on the beach, Reed is sent away to go and get some ice cream while Zach has a conversation with Abby. The producers knew what they were doing. There's a reason why they let Zach go first, because they wanted to bring up the Kira's situation. That way Abby would know Kira's in the villa, and then she could have a conversation with Reed when he comes out, and Reed would reveal that he also knows her because he slept with her sister. This is my opinion. This is what I'm thinking, because Abby was talking about her resume. Oh, I've been on this show, I've done this, and I was talked about on Mouse, and Zach was like, oh, why didn't you lead with that? You should have led with that I've been on this show, instead of, whatever conversation we've been having. And it's like, Zach, you're just here for gameplay. The fact that he was asking, did your social media blow up then after that? Did you? And it's like, so you're not here for love. You're just here to blow up on social media. This is why he wanted Lucinda, because he knew Lucinda would get him more attention than any of the other girls in the villa. That's the impression that I'm getting. And so he brings up the fact that Kira's in the villa, and she freaks out. Because, he tells her she was on Mavs, her sister got married, and then he talks about her sister's name. Oh, her sister's name is Bronte, and Abby lost it. And the producers didn't tell her that Kira was going to be on the show. That's the impression that I get, because she looked at them and said, you didn't tell me this is what was happening. And it's like, yeah, they're messy for that. They are messy, but they're after ratings, so they're going to do anything and everything to get what they want. And if it means deceiving you, they're going to do that. And it must have taken forever, and they must have really worked hard to convince her to come back, because she had stormed off, and then suddenly she came back, and it's like, what did they say to her then? Did they threaten her that you've already signed contracts? If you don't stay, then we're going to sue you or what? I don't know. I really don't get it. And the other thing, at the villa, you have Sav being crass as ever, talking about, taking nudes and whatever. And Trent is like, oh, I'm put off. You're put off by what? You were in a great coupling. You didn't draft your girl because you were listening to Zach. And now you've left yourself with Sav. And Sav is showing you who she's been showing you all along. And suddenly you're in your feelings that, oh, I can't take her around my family and all my friends. Too late, buddy. You chose that. Stick with it. You listened to Zach. I have a feeling Zach told him that, Tia is not it for you. You need someone better. Go for Sav. And that's how he ended up with Sav, because he doesn't look like he can think for himself. I'm surprised we didn't get to hear Abby and Reed's conversation. Is it because the producers didn't want us to hear what happened, or did they stop her from telling Reed about the fact that she knew Kira? Make it make sense. I don't get that, because the next thing is they were going for a swim, and it's like, we heard more conversation from Zach than we heard from Reed. Make that make sense? Back at the villa, Zach arrives, and he has to be all theatric and all holier than thou. He has to set the stage, he has to set the scene, he has to, only to eventually reveal that, Harrison's ex is the one that's coming in. And it's like, why? You can see that Kira knows that the producers are messing with her, because she actually said at one point, I came in here hoping to have an amazing time and not to talk about Mavs, and it seems everybody I know from my past in relation to Mavs is coming. You all might as well phone my ex and tell him to come in, because what else is left? There's nothing else left for me here. So call my ex and I'm ready for it. And it's like, oh my God, this is a bit too much. Why are they trying to break her? Are they looking for ratings from Mavs, or are they looking for her to behave the way she behaved on Mavs? Which is it? It's so sad that they keep doing this to her, and they keep frustrating and stressing, and it's like, give her a break. She's had enough, tough times. So you have Reed return with Abby, and the girls are already feeling some type of way. And the fact that she's beautiful just makes people even more nervous because they are now worried about their couplings. So she sits down for a chat with the guys first, and the guys are excited. And the fact that Nate sort of jokingly asked her, "How come you didn't call me for a date?" And she went, "Well, you're my number three." And it's like, okay. Please leave Nate alone. We don't need him in any more drama. He's happy in his couple with Kia. He needs to stay there. And so the girls, you can hear them grumbling. They are not happy. Every time one of their guys smiles at her, they're questioning, why is he smiling? Why is he doing this? And it's just like, you don't need to be that territorial. Just leave the guys to do whatever they want to do. When a guy bombshell comes in, you can do the same. Because if they're going to be messy, then you might as well just be as messy as they are. So I don't know. Do I think she could have a connection? I think the only person who might entertain her is Reed and also Trent, because Trent has said he's being turned off by Sav. But then I don't know whether the producers would like to let go of Sav because she's messy. They might want to get rid of somebody else, but I don't think they want to get rid of Sav. So we'll see how that plays out. And then, she asks Zach, "Did you say anything?" And he's very vague. Zach knows what he's doing. He's very sly. He'll do something messy, and then when asked, he'll lift his hands up and say, "No, I'm innocent. I didn't do that. I didn't do that." And I don't know why the boys didn't just pick up and said, "Yes, you told everyone that this girl knew Kira and she had dated Kira's ex-brother-in-law." Why not just own up and call him out? I don't know why they allow him to continue with all this mess. It's getting on my nerves. The producers must be pissed off, really, because their plans for Kira are not working. They all keep backfiring. They brought in Reed and he revealed that he slept with Bronte and she didn't react the way they wanted her to react. They brought in Abby. Abby, revealed that she dated Harrison. She didn't react the way they wanted her to react because she's actually saying, at least we have something in common. We both hate Harrison. And it's like, well, this is not going very well. Next, they're going to bring Harrison then. And he's too old for Love Island. So I don't know what they're going to do to try and set her off, because it seems their goal is to break her. I said this before, but now I'm truly believing that their goal is to break Kira, and they're going to try and do anything and everything to sort of upset her. And then you eventually have Sav. She pulls, Trent for a chat because it seems the shiny object has sort of worn off. Trent, I think, thought Tia would chase after him, and she didn't. So he stayed with Sav, thinking that would make Tia jealous and should come back for him. She seems happy in her couple with Nate. So during their conversation, it comes up that, he thinks she's a bit crass. Some of the stuff she says, she doesn't need to say. And Sav is saying, I don't take criticism very well. I don't see it as criticism. I see it as constructive feedback. Because if he didn't care about her, he wouldn't be saying that. She's someone who's qualified to be a lawyer. And how would people in court feel knowing that, or her clients, how would they feel hearing her speak about herself the way she does? He is right to tell her that you need to be careful of what you say and what you do, because someone who's going to marry you, or even your prospective clients, they might not want to be represented by someone who took nudes in a booth at a high school party. That doesn't make sense. So I give him credit for giving her constructive feedback. Anyway, all the islanders get ready and they have their drinks. It's interesting that it's barely the end of the first week and everybody is so territorial, because after the toast, somebody says to Abby, "Are you going to be pulling the guys for a chat?" And every guy she pulls for a chat, their partner is sort of listening to what's going on. And then you have, obviously, senior dum. You have Zach sort of encouraging the boys that let's listen into her date, let's hear what she's saying, let's hear what's going on. And it's like, grow up. Please grow up. You don't need to behave like you're in high school all the time. There is a time and place for everything, and there's no need for you to be behaving the way you're behaving. It's embarrassing. It really is. So she talks to Ben. I don't think they really had anything there. Ben was saying, "I want Tyra to know that I have options, so this is why I'm more or less going on this date." And it's like, seriously, be a bit more mature. Be like a man. There's no need for you to be so childish. And so So after her chat with Ben, she went for a chat with Kale. Kale seemed to be happy. I don't think Kale sees her in that light, and I don't think Kale wants the drama that comes with Abby because of Kira and the Mavs and everything else. So he said he was happy in his coupling. Her last date was with Reed, and Reed really likes her and is putting a lot of pressure. And it's sad that karma has come home to roost, because Ollie on his way out told Kira that you're making a mistake by saving Reed, because Reed is just looking for someone to keep him here until his options come in. And this is what he's done, because now she's recognizing that he's done the bare minimum. He hasn't really spoken to her. He went on this date, didn't even come back and tell her about the date. And so it makes you question that why did she make the decision she made? Was it because the producers begged her to do that? Or what? Did they say to her, if you keep him back, we will save you in the next dumping? What was it? I don't get it. I really don't get it, and I don't understand why she's continuing to put up with all this nonsense. But anyway, I digress. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys.